Alright. Tôi được đặt hàng nói tiếng Anh, cho nên là tôi xin phép các bạn là được nói theo đúng cái ngôn ngữ mà tôi đã được đặt hàng trước. Cho nên nếu mà cái việc chuyển tải ngôn ngữ nó có bị khó khăn thì các bạn thông cảm cho tôi. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, let's get started. So my topic here today is about personal branding, but not only the regular personal branding or self-identity. It's about the real values that we are trying to convey and tell the world about. So let's start with a question. If a brand is a human, and if you were a brand, then in your opinion, what sound would you make? Next slide. Would you try to make a lot of noise so that everybody pay attention to you? In reality, sometimes, and in many cases, we try to make a lot of noise so people pay attention to. But noise gets biased or backfire in some occasion. So that's why in other cases, we try to be quiet. Next slide, please. We try to tell the world that we are quite quiet, introvert person, but we are true to ourselves. We are quiet, but we are true to the world. Because, next slide, please. Branding or personal branding today, as I observe, I'm not sure if you agree with me, are becoming some type of race. What kind of race that I'm talking about, people? Maybe the race that people try to post more. People post a lot on Facebook. People post a lot on their Facebook account, on their TikTok account, or post a lot of photos on their Instagram. And when people try to post more, what do they expect? They try to have more likes. Next slide, please. And they try to have more comments. Next slide, please. Right, and they want to get viral. Next slide. Right. But, next slide. When you have more and more followers, have you ever wondered yourself, do people really listen to you? Do people really care about you? So identity is wonderful. Identity is the key. A lot of people can have their digital identity, but not everyone is heard. Right? So I, as a lecturer, I talk to people every day. But in so many cases, I wonder, do they really care about what an instructor tried to tell them? And in many cases, next slide. Right. In many cases, when we try to make a lot of sounds, do we really make our sounds being connected to the world? Next slide. Right. Let me show you some pictures. Right. To be honest, I like what students wrote to me. I like it a lot. They told me that I am the one who inspired them. I am the one who pushed them forward. But after liking so much reading this, I worry. Is it really a true type of person that I want to? Right? I wonder, I question myself. Is it something that I can connect to them? Is it something that I can connect to the world? Next slide. So, as the topic of today, resonance or cộng hưởng in Vietnamese, right? We try to show the world our real identity. We try to show the world our authenticity. Maybe we don't have to be loud. Right? We can be quiet, but memorable. So when people look at you, when people look at others, what is the impression that they carry with them? Next slide. And when I am preparing the content to talk with you today. And it is so coincidence that when I complete my dissertation, there is a concept that I find it's very appropriate for today's topic. And that concept is generated by one of my inspiring professor, giáo sư Professor Tuyết Mai from the business school and from the Institute of Sustainability. And in her paper, she told me and she told the audience about something called the dual identity. Back to the previous slide. In the dual identity, she told the audience that we have two views coexist. The first one, we are traditional. The second one, we are modern. I'm not sure if you recognize that kind of coexistence. So you, even though you are Generation Z, you are very young. You want to be innovative, you want to be independent, you want to be individualistic. But you cannot run away from being collectivist. You want your family, you want to be a part of the community. So in other words, in order to show your identity, to show your authenticity, the real you, your personal brand to the world, we can learn something that, yes, we can be individualistic. We are a real person. But also we can show our differences by telling people we are individualistic and collectivistic at the same time. I always tell my students and to people that I know that when you go to work in the future, when you go to the industry, you have to show your POP, point of parities, and POD, point of differences. Just for your information, I am a marketing lecturer. So when I teach marketing, I always ask my student, in this product, or if you are the product, what is something you and others are similar? But what are something you and others are different? And also for your information, in the last 25 years, I live and I move around a lot. I live in the US for 10 years. I live in Thailand, I live in Vietnam, I live in Ho Chi Minh City. I also live and fly back and forth Ho Chi Minh City and Hanoi. So I tell my students, and it is something that I usually do as a person as well. I show them, yes, I am a global citizen. I am the one who can work in the international market. But that is the POP. There are so many people who are similar as me. But my POD, my point of difference would be I am a Vietnamese. I use my Vietnamese authenticity, Vietnamese identity to connect to the world. Next slide, please. So the duality, not only about the traditional view, not only about the modern view, but duality or dual identity comes in the form that you have to resonate, you have to connect your roots, your true Vietnamese, and your wings, your capabilities. Next slide. This is a very simple question. A lot of you probably have to answer to this question many times. People ask, who are you? And how would you respond? You would say that you are Vietnamese, right? Or, next slide, in other words, we are saying we are Viet people. So the identity that we try to tell others that we are Viet. Our root is Vietnamese, we are Viet people. But you know what? You can surprise others, you can impress others by telling others that Viet also is the acronyms for other letters as well, for 4 letters. Let's start with the first letter, V. What V stands for, people? We are saying we are Viet, but also Viet is an acronym of 4 letters, starting with, next slide, vision. So in order to build up a personal brand, you have to have a vision. A vision what? A vision that you can throw yourself to some period in the future and visualize what result would you get. After receiving a task or a project from your employer, you visualize at the moment of 6 months from today, of a year from today, what would be the results that the employer would receive, and whether or not that employer would appreciate your results or not. That's V. V and then I, next slide. What I stand for. There are so many I's in English, right? V would be vision and I would be innovation, right? Why innovation? Is some innovation something far away out of our hand? Is innovation something too fancy? No. Innovation is just the way that you solve the problem better than others. And once again, it would generate your personal brand. You solve the problem better than you of yesterday, and you solve the problem better than others. So that after today, your employer, so that after today, others would remember what you actually completed. V would be for vision, I would be for innovation, then E would be for there are so many E's, right? Next slide. Emotional intelligence. Right, what a word. So as a human, in an effort of building up personal branding, we have to have the emotion, and we try to convey that emotion to others. But emotional intelligence means what? It is what I observe. Right? I interact with so many people every day. I interact with students who are younger than me. I interact with colleagues who are probably at the same generation as me. I also interact with the elderly who are way older than me. And in the process of this type of interaction, sometimes they express their emotion. They could be mad, they could be angry, they could be sad, they could be happy toward me or even against me. It would be easy to say, hey, I don't like the way that you express the anger. It would be very easy to say, I don't like the way that you are expressing your emotion right in front of me. But emotional intelligence here means your ability to understand why they have that kind of emotion. And also your ability to predict whether or not in the future this type of emotion would be expressed again. And prediction would help us to solve the problem that we encounter better than others. Right? So that is what I mean by emotional intelligence. And from emotional intelligence, it would lead to another E that some of you might probably think of. That's empathy. Thấu cảm, right? Thấu hiểu, đồng cảm. So we understand why people express this kind of feeling. And from that kind of understanding, we together can solve the problem or can help them solve the problems. Next slide. So V would be for vision, I would be for innovation, E would be for emotional intelligence or empathy, and then T would be for talents. Right? We are building up our personal branding, right? And as I told you, dual identity coexists. So on one hand, you have your roots, you have your identity, right? You are traditional. But on the other hand, you have your wings, you have your capability, you have your talents. So talents differentiate yourself. Talents would consolidate or reinforce your position in the industry. So next slide. Next slide, please. So as the topic today, once again, resonance or cộng hưởng, right? Cộng hưởng means your ability to show the world yourself in sync with or in connect with people surrounding you, with the world that you are a member of. Next slide. How to build up your personal branding. It might not be so difficult as you think. In my opinion, personal branding starts with something very small. Right? It is not about a number of photos or posts you have on Facebook or have so many followers. It starts with the way that we show our understanding or empathy with ourselves. We have to understand ourselves first and with others. Next slide. So, in order to build up the personal branding, you have to be able to find your frequency. In Vietnamese, what frequency means? In this context, it should be tần số. Right? We heard of this word a lot. Meaning what? We have to be able to find the right people, the right place, the right opportunities. In the future, when you apply for a job, what you look for? Not only the employer's name, not only the company's name, right? You look for the values of that company deliver and whether or not that value and your value match and fit. Right? So that is what we mean by frequency. Next, please. So today, right after today, you can start building up your personal branding. Right? So that after today, people remember who you are, what you are good at, what you can do for them. Start today, you can think that your daily activity is the touch point, and make sure everyone would have a very wonderful experience with you throughout some of your touch point. Next, please. Personal branding is, once again, start with something small, but be very persistent. Next slide. So, to sum up, before I finish my talk today, remember, building up a personal branding is not something too fancy. I am not perfect. You are not perfect as well. As long as you are true to yourself, you are authentic, you are distinctive, you show your identity together with your capabilities, I believe that you would have a very strong personal brand. Thank you very much for your attention.